Hey there, Rub-a-Dub subs, it's Blackmetalwerewolf making a brand new video for this week. So before I get into today's topic, I just wanted to apologize if I don't sound myself. I know I'm going to be sniffing, I'm a little congested, I got a cold going on. I was just tired of insignificant things getting in my way of making videos and doing at least one per week, So I'm doing it anyway, I just, sound like shit and a little run down. But that's just the way it goes sometimes. But anyway, let's get into today's subject, shall we? Today I want to talk about hologram concerts. If you haven't heard about them, no, I'm sure you have. A lot of times, our favorite celebrities die, but sometimes the record company will have enough video footage of that person performing that they can make a hologram of them on stage and get that hologram to perform for everybody and have like a backup band to do the actual music, but then have the audio and the picture of the person on stage doing the whole thing. Personally, I think it's really cool because right now a Dio one is under production. It premiered last year at Walkin'. And I read on Facebook that they're nearing completion of a full show that they're going to be able to put, do a tour with. And that's going to be really cool. So I think it's a really cool thing to do. But I have noticed that there is a lot of negativity surrounding the whole thing. And that's what I want to talk about. The negativity surrounding hologram concerts and how I think the negativity is unjustified. Like I said, I'm quite a big fan of the idea of a hologram concert. As time progresses, unfortunately, a lot of our favorite performers will die, like Ozzy Osbourne, King Diamond, and Alice Cooper. They are getting on in years, and it really is only a matter of time until they pass away. And a lot of icons have already passed away, like Dio and Lemmy. Those are two gigantic figures in heavy metal who are no longer with us. So I like the idea that we can take modern technology and use that to capture images and footage and project it on a stage to give people the experience of a concert. I think that's absolutely great, because there are a lot of people, my age and a lot older, who have got to see them, but there are still a lot who haven't. And people in later generations, they might never have got to see Lemmy or Dio or whatever, and when Ozzy eventually dies, a lot of people won't get to see Ozzy live. A lot of the people who did get to see them live, lucky bastards, but some people just weren't that fortunate. So the idea that they can take this technology and give so many people that experience, I think that's a fantastic idea, and I can't really see why people are so against it. One of the main complaints I heard is that it's not the real thing. Well, that's true. It is not the real thing, and I can see where they're coming from, but I can't say I should rob everybody from getting a close experience to that. I think if people are really enthusiastic about the music and they want to see Dio live, and that's the closest thing they can get to, then fuck, all the power to them, If some kid is born today, in 15 years, they could very well be a Lemmy fan or Motorhead, But, tough shit. They weren't alive when Lemmy was doing his thing. But if they can give that 15-year-old kid that experience that he can talk about and live with his entire life, and maybe even pass that on to his kids, to me, that's fucking amazing. And anyone who's going to shit on some 15-year-old kid in the future because he isn't a true fan, because he wasn't alive when that was happening, I think that's completely ridiculous and incredibly cynical. The world doesn't have to revolve around your personality and your being special. Oh, well, I got to see them really live. Really? Because now you're really crapping on other people trying to get into it and trying to grow the community and make sure the community lasts for another 5 decades. And that's the thing that makes heavy metal so special in comparison to a lot of other types of music, is how it's been able to stay relevant, and the biggest bands are still talked about. People are still writing articles about them and wearing their t-shirts and all this shit. For example, pop music. Pop stars are a fucking flash in the pan. Like ABBA. No one talks about ABBA anymore unless you were fucking born in the 70s, Whereas Black Sabbath, I fucking still see people wearing Black Sabbath shirts and talking about how awesome they are. So if they can really capture that concert experience and still give it to people, I think that's amazing, and I think it should be done. But, I can see where they're coming from. That's not a legitimate concert experience, but for a lot of people, it's the closest thing they're ever going to get to that legitimate concert experience of their favorite bands. Another main complaint I heard is that this whole hologram concert thing is nothing but a cash grab from the record company and the performer's family to suck a little bit more money off of this dead person's star power and stuff like that. Okay, not a terrible excuse, because I could see some people thinking that way and being like, well, I'm not going to just pay for a hologram concert just to give some greedy fat cat at the record company money, right? But can someone please explain to me the difference between paying for a hologram concert and paying for, say, something like this? I bought this a few years after Dio died. Cost me $15. I'm willing to bet the money went to the record company and some royalties to his family. But this is a captured footage of him performing live that I can view digitally at any time I want. The only difference between this and a hologram concert is it's on my TV and I can enjoy it within the comfort of my own home, and a hologram concert is I'm at a stadium or a club or something with several hundred other people, or how many other people are there, right? So I really don't see how this isn't considered a cash grab, but a hologram concert is. What about selling CDs after someone dies? Is that not still sucking star power, starlight off of that person's star power? For example, after Lemmy died, anytime I walked into an HMV, the fucking Motorhead section was filled with albums, and they jacked the price of them too. So that is really considered a cash grab, because an album that cost $5 before, they're now charging $15 for. To me, that's considerably much worse than giving someone the concert experience and using a hologram to give them that, you know? My biggest complaint about the hologram concert is how much would the tickets cost. For example, let's say a regular Dio ticket was $100, even $100. Okay, so they're paying for, you know, the stage show, the performers, and all that, but would a hologram concert cost as much as, you know, an actual person performing? I understand it's still relatively new technology, and you do need at least one person to run it, but I don't think it should cost as much as the actual person performing, because you don't have to pay that person anymore, because they're dead, unless you have to charge fucking royalties up the ass to the family. So that's my main complaint, is how much are the tickets going to cost, and are they going to overcharge it? Because I personally do not believe that it should cost the same or more than the actual person performing. Now, I know I'm painting this huge picture of how everybody hates it except for me, but that's simply not true. I know a lot of people, I've talked to a lot of people and asked them questions, what they thought about this whole subject, and are they behind the idea of hologram concerts. And, some people are against it, and they voice their opinions to me, but for the most part, a lot of people are behind it, and they think it's a cool idea. Just, a lot of times when someone thinks something's cool and good, they'll, keep their opinions to themselves, but when they see something that angers them and pisses them off, that's when they, write a comment or make a video about it, like what I'm doing or whatever. So a lot of times the positivity will stay quiet and the negativity will speak. So I am glad so many people are still behind it and want to get the whole experience out of it. But I just thought I would address all the negativity around it and maybe argue with them a bit to say, yes, I see your point, but I do think overall it's a good idea. And those are my thoughts on the hologram concerts. I know a lot more are being in production. I'm willing to bet a Lemmy one is in production. They have to have enough footage to be able to do one for Motorhead and Lemmy and shit. And I wouldn't be surprised if they made a Michael Jackson one and a whole lot of other people that are, big and famous. Because it's a good idea. Granted, yes, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of record companies are just doing it for a cash grab. But I think as long as the price point is right and it gives people the experience, fuck, I'm all for it, man. So like my past videos, I either do an album recommendation or an album warning, usually a recommendation, but this video is half and half. The first half of this album sucks dick through a straw, and I hate it. It's mediocre, it's repetitive, it's predictable, can't stand it, except for like one song. And the second half of the album is actually pretty damn good. And that album is the new Lordi album, Theaterror vs. Demonarchy. Like I said, the first half of the album is Theaterror. It's boring, it's predictable, all the songs follow the exact same structure, it's just unpleasant to listen to. But the second half of the album is a concept, which I liked about it. And they changed things up. They did a different song structure, changed it up a bit, had some fun with it. And that's why I like that. They finally kind of experimented with something else other than verse 1, pre-chorus, chorus, verse 2, pre-chorus, chorus, solo, pre-chorus, chorus, 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 chorus. I was getting pretty tired of that same repetitive thing, and that's why I hated the last Lordi album. But this one, the second half is pretty damn good. I won't ruin the concept for you, but I really like the idea that they had going with it, and it's a pretty good story. So I suggest listening to the second half of it. First half, you could probably totally skip. So that's it for today's video. If you like what you saw, don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave me a comment letting me know what you thought of today's video, and check out some of my past videos while you're at it. If you want to keep up with me on a more daily basis, you can follow me on Instagram and on Facebook now. I'll be putting my Instagram name and a link to my Facebook page in the description. And I also have a P.O. box open now, so if you would like to write me a letter or something, feel free to. But other than that, thank you very much for watching, guys, and stay brutal.